Yes, people, welcome back to Thai Sports Talk. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe. All of that, because today we are talking about the boxing. We're talking about the main event that's coming up this weekend. Yeah, there's Man City, Liverpool. Yeah, there's Man United away at Everton. Yeah, there's Villa, Chelsea. But if I'm honest with you, everyone in the world who loves sport is going to be locking into the boxing on Saturday night. And I want to talk about it. People have never seen me stream about boxing before, because normally on this channel here I've done football. But I love horse racing. I love boxing. I love athletics. I love sport. Anyone that knows me knows that I just love sport. And this event on the weekend is special. It's special, not just because it's like another boxing event and we're getting to see two pound for pound fighters fight, on the global stage, but it's the card itself. To have so many good fights on the card in one night is remarkable. And big up Turk for sorting this out, because boxing has needed this for a few years now, a good few years. UFC had kind of overtaken it in terms of people showing interest in watching their fights and what they had been doing. But Turk has really brought the game back to boxing now. And boxing is the truly number one combat sport in the world again. And it's thanks to him organizing big fights, making sure big names get paid, but they also go in the ring and fight each other. And again, on Saturday night, we've got another global spectacle where there's a lot of fights that, no matter what I say, no matter what, Cole Froch might say, no matter what George Groves might say, Johnny Nelson, Paulie Malignaggi, Chris Algieri, any experts, anyone who's fought in the ring before, they could all get it wrong. And so could I. So let's get into it. Like this video, subscribe if you're new. I hope you enjoy it. But the first thing we've got to talk, and of course, is the main event. Artur Beterbiev for Dmitry Bivol. Again, for the light heavyweight championship of the world. It's the rematch from last year's fight, which again, for boxing purists, what a fight. I loved it. I was gripped for every minute. I was analyzing it tactically. I was trying to break it down in my head, point score in my head. And ultimately, I had it potentially a draw or 1 round to Dmitry Bivol. That's how I scored the first fight. 1 round for Dmitry Bivol, I would not have complained. A draw, I would not have minded. A Beterbiev win, I thought that was probably the harshest result out of the 3 that could have been given. But this is boxing, and you've got to do enough to win the rounds. And the judges obviously thought that where I had it 1 round 1 round Bivol, they had it 1 round to Beterbiev. And this is the way boxing goes. And again, I think it left more people licking their lips, and ahhing. Was it the right decision? Was it not? And ultimately, it's led us to this road now of February the 22nd of a rematch. And a rematch that the world want to see, because they want to see if Beterbiev can put his stamp on things and leave his legacy as the greatest, probably light heavyweight of all time, potentially. Or you look at, Bivol eyeing up a third fight, a trilogy. It sets it up perfectly. If he wins the fight, it's 1-1. Let's go into the decider in the back end of the year. Both of them get paid. Turk gets another big fight in Saudi, and people will watch it again. So let's see what happens. And what do you guys think is going to happen in this fight? I'm so intrigued for you guys to get your comments in as well. Like, it's so important that you guys get your comments in, because it's not like a football match where you're watching Man City play at home to a Sheffield Wednesday and you're like, yeah, well, Man City are winning that. You're not even going to comment. There's no point. This is the ultimate game right now. This is like Real Madrid versus Liverpool, if not better, because Liverpool aren't as good as what they used to be. Liverpool versus Real Madrid in the Champions League final. This is the 2 best teams going head to head. You can't really compare football to boxing, to be fair, but in terms of the best, this is what it is right now. Beterbiev, Bivol. Yes, Bivol lost the last fight, but someone had to lose. Someone's had to go. Now they're having a rematch. Again, in under a year, which I like. They haven't left it too long. Both fighters, 34, 40, in their primes. Beterbiev, you probably could say, might be on the downslide now. Even though he's not had many career fights. So let's talk about Beterbiev first. He's not had many career fights, right? He's had 21 career fights, 40 years of age. He's knocked out 20 of those, but he's still quite fresh. He's been in a couple of wars. Maybe the Anthony Yard fight was quite tough. Callum Johnson years ago, that was a tough few rounds. I think he got dropped in that one as well. And in this fight, mentally was probably more grueling than physically, because he wasn't hurt. He wasn't really marked up, but mentally you have to be switched on for so much of the fight, if not every single second of the fight, when you're fighting someone like Dmitry Bivol. And it's basically a chess match, which is why some people might have said the first fight was boring. But people that love boxing understand the technical side of the game, the thinking side of the game, movement, landing your jabs, pivoting out of the areas, using the ring smartly, applying pressure, forward, coming forward, getting the judges to give you the rounds. That's what it was all about in this first fight. And Beterbiev have done that very well in the second half of the fight. Has he still got it at the age of 40? Where you go over to Dmitry Bivol and you look at Bivol and you're like, do you know what? He's 34, still going to be fresh, one defeat, nothing to kind of lose now. He's already suffered that defeat. And he's going to be hungry. And you look at Dmitry Bivol and the way he looks focused this week. I'm not saying Beterbiev isn't, but Bivol, he looks focused. He looks like he knows what he needs to do to win the fight. And I think he's hungry. I think he's really determined. You know, he spoke so well after losing the first fight. He thought he had won, but he was not, you know, harsh about it. He was just like, look, I know I could have done things better. I didn't perform to the best of what I could have. And I've got to go away, look at things again, improve, train, and come back a better fighter. And tomorrow night, we get to see this. Tomorrow night, we get to see this live in the flesh. Dmitry Bivol versus Artur Beterbiev. And do you know what, guys? My analysis of this fight is this. I think if Bivol can do what he done for the first 6 rounds, first 5 rounds, should I say, of the first fight, I think he can win. And I'm going to go for Bivol to win the fight tomorrow night. I think his work rate, I think his movement, I think his jab, and I think he's going to learn a lot from that first fight. Will take him through this second fight. I think with Beterbiev, he isn't going to get any fresher. He isn't going to apply more work rate. If anything, Bivol can take that away from him with his movement, because Beterbiev, we know, is a power puncher. He applies pressure with his footwork. But if Bivol can, you know, get his jab off first, move around the ring, he can nick them rounds and take them rounds and take them rounds. And I think where he fell off in the first fight, which was allowing Beterbiev to get the pressure, get close, land his punches, pressure him in the corners of the ring, land a few combinations and look like the forward-thinking fighter, that's where Beterbiev won it, because it played on the judges' minds. They've not got commentary. They're just watching it, seeing someone coming forward, someone landing punches, someone applying the pressure in the second half of the fight. Bivol didn't quite have the energy and the legs to keep Beterbiev off for 12 rounds. I don't think he realized how hard it would be to have someone like, you know, Dmitry Bivol, to have someone like Beterbiev. Roms, I'll ring you back in a minute. To have someone like Artur Beterbiev in front of you, it's mentally so hard to keep someone like that off. However, now I think he'll be more prepared for it. I think he'll be ready to say, right, Beterbiev, whatever you throw at me, I'm going to throw back. What Bivol needs to do now, more than he did in the first fight, is actually throw more punches, apply that pressure, do what he needed to do in that first fight, but for longer periods. Because if he can sustain that, I don't see how Beterbiev can win the fight over 12 rounds, because I just don't think he's mobile enough, fit enough, and has the work rate. I could be wrong, because Beterbiev threw a lot more punches than I expected in the first fight. But I just feel like Bivol can learn more. I actually want Beterbiev to win. I like Bivol, nothing against him at all, but I want Beterbiev to win, because I kind of want him to stamp his foot down in terms of winning the first fight, go and win the second one. And then it's like, right, there's a winner, 2-0, clear, done. But I just don't see it happening. And I don't know if Beterbiev is going to be able to get to Bivol. I don't know if he's going to have enough movement and speed to time Bivol. But on the flip side, if I'm Artur Beterbiev going into this fight, I'm looking at it and saying, what didn't I do great in the first fight? And for me, what Artur Beterbiev didn't do great was apply pressure early. You know, force Bivol to have to go into the trenches as much as he did later on in the rounds. Because when he did later on in the rounds, he was really strong. He was really, you know, making Bivol feel a bit uncomfortable, digging him to the body, applying work rate. Bivol would look like he was getting a bit of out of energy, wanted the rounds to end. If Beterbiev can start quicker, that is where this fight could be brilliant. It could be even better than the first fight. But it's up to Beterbiev to see if he can put the pressure on Bivol early. Can he come out on his stool? Because if I'm watching that fight back, Beterbiev, I'll be like, right, I know I can hurt him because he hurt Bivol a few times. I know I need to apply pressure early, and I can do that. Bivol, I need to stay on my bike more. I need to box more. I need to use my work rate and get out of the pockets and not allow Beterbiev to land. So I feel like it's going to be, again, mouse and cheese. I reckon Bivol's going to be the cheese, baiting him, come and get me. And Berterbiev's going to be the mouse. He's going to be chasing the cheese. He wants it, but can he get to him? I don't know. It is going to be such a fascinating fight. It's going to be so interesting. It's going to be such a fascinating fight. And like I said, people, if you haven't seen it already, here is the head-to-head. This is what it looks like. 40 years of age, 23 wins, 1 defeat for Bivol, 21 wins, no losses for Artur Beterbiev. Again, 2 of the best fighters in the world right now. No difference in the height, really. The reach, not much of a difference. And this is why it comes down to this. This is a mental game rather than a physical one, because Beterbiev is stronger, yes. Bivol is, more, probably say slightly more the technical mover. But it's who can beat each other in that game of chess, who can break each other's game plan down the quickest, who can make the other one feel more uncomfortable. And this is what I love about top level boxing. These fights have you gripped to your screen. These fights have you locked in for the full 12 rounds. And that is going to be me again tomorrow night. Because if you ask 100 people, 50 people will probably say Beterbiev, 50 people will probably say Bivol. But I'm just going to go with my boxing hat in terms of, I think Bivol is going to try and box for the whole rounds. And he will take the rounds away from Beterbiev. And if he gets going too late, it will either be too late or Beterbiev has to try and stop him. And I don't think you can stop Bivol. I just don't think he allows you to get him in the position where he can be stopped. He's clever enough to move, to buy time, to get around the ring. But this is such a great fight. This is such a great fight. I could talk about the other fights on the card briefly. I do personally think that Parker will edge it. I think if Bakole had a full camp, Bakole wins. I think Bakole's one of the most dangerous fighters in heavyweight boxing right now. But my concern for Bakole is that he's coming off, no camp. He's effectively at 40, 50%, as Ban Shalom said. So for me, if he's in full camp, if he's ready for this, like it was preparation of 8 weeks, he wins. But I think Parker might edge it in terms of fitness from round 6 onwards. I think Bakole might start fine in the first few rounds, but Parker will edge it. But I want Bakole to win. Shakur Stevenson, he wins that fight. I'm not even going to go into that one. Respect Josh Padley. He's going to earn a good amount of money to help change his life around. So fair play to him, but Shakur wins. The other most interesting fight for me is Madrimov versus Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz, stepping up to 154. Madrimov, a very technical boxer. Obviously, the Eastern European side of things. You know what they're like. They're strong, they're rugged, but they're technical as well. A lot of amateur fights. Virgil Ortiz, tough, hits hard, can punch to the body, unbeaten, comes in that Mexican-American feel. That fight is so interesting for me. Madrimov obviously coming off the defeat to Terence Crawford. Virgil Ortiz unbeaten and stepping up to 154. Can Virgil Ortiz put himself on the map at that weight division, or will he come up short? Will Madrimov at his age now, into his early 30s, mid-30s, show that he can still do it at the highest level? Because he showcased himself well against Terence Crawford. I'm going to go with Virgil Ortiz. I think he might wear Madrimov down, and Madrimov might not be able to keep him off, even though he's a technical boxer. Madrimov probably wins on points 100%. If that's the way he's going to win, he's going to outbox Virgil Ortiz and frustrate him. But I feel like Virgil Ortiz will have the aggression, have the power to maybe wear him down late. And he could force a late stoppage, if not win on points because of his aggression. That's going to be a great fight. I think Hamza Sheeraz wins against Adamez. Adamez is strong, he's tough, he's going to get up close, try and make it a rugged fight. But I think Sheeraz now coming off 14 straight KOs. He's matured a lot in the last couple of years. I feel like this is his time now to go to that next level, announce himself on that world stage and take that world title back to London. So I'm going to go with Hamza Sheeraz to win. However, don't be surprised if he gets dropped and wins, because he has been knocked down twice in his career and he can be chinny at times. But I'm going to go with Hamza Sheeraz to get the job done. And I'm going to go for Caballero to beat Zhang as well on points. That's my prediction for that one. And in terms of Callum Smith and Buatsi, I am picking Buatsi on points. I think Callum Smith is not the same fighter he once was. And unfortunately, he's on a decline. and Buatsi has got a lot more to lose. So I'm going to go Buatsi on points. They are my predictions for a great night of boxing. Guys, make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe. Please get your comments in. Please let me know your thoughts, because I'm so interested to see what you guys think ahead of one of the best cards on the boxing scene right now, and if not ever. Guys, it's Thai Sports Talk, Beterbiev, Bivol 2, the rematch, and the predictions. Like, subscribe. Thank you for watching.